I found out that my MIL secretly despises me. I was elbow deep in buttercream frosting when my mother-in-law's phone buzzed on my kitchen counter. The screen lit up with a notification from something called Thompson Family Tea, a group chat I'd never heard of. Linda, your phone. I called toward the living room where she was supposedly helping my husband Jake hang our new wedding photos. The irony wasn't lost on me that we were literally putting up pictures of our happiness while I slaved away making her favorite lemon cake from scratch for her book club tomorrow. No response. The phone buzzed again. Then again. I glanced toward the living room, flour still dusting my forearms. Linda? Your phone keeps going off. Just a minute, sweetheart, came her sickeningly sweet voice. The same voice that had praised my charming little starter home 6 months ago when Jake and I moved in together after our honeymoon. The phone screen lit up once more, and this time I caught a glimpse of the preview text. Did you see what Sarah wore to church yesterday? I swear that girl has no. My stomach dropped. I knew I shouldn't look. I absolutely knew better. But my name was right there on the screen, and my hands moved before my brain could stop them. I swiped up. No passcode. Linda always said she had nothing to hide. Thompson Family Tea. Linda, Joyce, Patricia, Mark, Susan. Linda, yesterday, 2:47 p.m. *. Did you see what Sarah wore to church yesterday? I swear that girl has no class. That dress was so tight you could see her underwear lines *. Joyce ***, Linda. Face with tears of joy *. Patricia ***, poor Jake. He could have done so much better *. Linda ***, tell me about it. I keep hoping he'll come to his senses. She made tuna casserole for Sunday dinner. Tuna. Casserole. I wanted to die of embarrassment *. My hands were shaking. The phone felt like it weighed 100 pounds. I scrolled up, deeper into the conversation, my heart hammering against my ribs. Linda, last Tuesday 8:23 p.m. *. Sarah asked me for my pot roast recipe today. I gave her the wrong measurements. Let's see how her family dinner goes Thursday. Face with hand over mouth *. Susan *, Linda, you're terrible. Mark *, she's protecting our boy. Linda *, someone has to. Did I mention she's trying to get pregnant? God help us all. Can you imagine that trailer trash raising Thompson children *. The phone slipped from my trembling fingers, clattering onto the marble countertop. Trailer trash. The words echoed in my skull like a gunshot in an empty warehouse. I'd grown up in a double wide in Millfield. My dad worked construction, my mom cleaned houses. But I'd put myself through nursing school, graduated summa cum laude, and worked my ass off to get where I was. Jake knew all of this. He'd said he was proud of me. His mother had been calling me trailer trash behind my back while I spent 2 years trying desperately to earn her approval. While I hand-stitched Christmas stockings for the whole family. While I drove 45 minutes every Sunday to that pretentious church she insisted we attend. While I smiled and nodded through her passive-aggressive comments about my cooking, my clothes, my job. How's that cake coming along, sweetheart? Linda's voice drifted from the living room, dripping with false warmth. I stared at the phone screen, my reflection ghost-like in the black surface now that the messages had disappeared. In exactly 12 days, Linda Thompson was turning 60. The whole family would be there, all 43 members of the precious Thompson clan gathering to celebrate the woman who'd been systematically destroying me one group chat message at a time. 12 days. I picked up the phone and kept reading. Linda, last Monday, 6:15 p.m. *. Jake called today asking if we could move the birthday party to their house. Apparently Sarah volunteered to host. I said yes, of course, let her embarrass herself in front of the whole family, smiling face with horns *. Joyce *, you're so bad, Linda. Patricia *, what if she actually pulls it off? Linda *, please. Have you seen her decorating? It looks like a Pinterest board threw up. And don't get me started on her cooking. Remember Jake's birthday cake? Dry as cardboard, but she acted like she'd made something from the Food Network *. My throat constricted. I'd spent 3 days practicing that recipe. I'd watched 12 YouTube videos and called my mom twice for advice. Jake had said it was perfect. Mark *, why don't you just tell Jake how you really feel? Linda *, because I'm not stupid, Mark. Jake's infatuated. But infatuation fades. Especially when reality sets in. I just need to be patient and let Sarah destroy herself. She's doing most of the work for me *. Susan *, what do you mean? Linda *, she tries so hard to fit in that it's painful to watch. Last week she used the phrase summer home when talking about our place in Rehoboth. Jake corrected her, it's the beach house, not summer home. You could see her face turn red. She doesn't belong in our world and deep down, Jake knows it *. I remembered that moment. The sting of embarrassment when Jake had gently corrected me in front of his parents. I'd apologized immediately, laughing it off, but Linda's eyes had gleamed with something I'd mistaken for amusement. It was satisfaction. Linda, 3 days ago, 11:43 a.m. * emergency. Sarah just asked me about Jake's college girlfriend Emma. Apparently someone mentioned her at the grocery store *. Patricia *, oh no. Joyce *, what did you tell her? Linda *, the truth. That Emma was Jake's first real love. That they dated for 3 years. That she comes from the Whitfield family, you know, the ones who own half the waterfront properties downtown. I may have mentioned that Emma's divorce was just finalized *. My blood turned to ice water. Emma. I'd asked Linda about her after Mrs. Peterson at the grocery store had made some comment about Jake's beautiful girlfriend from college. Linda had been so helpful, so informative. She'd show me Emma's Facebook photos, the blonde hair, the perfect teeth, the pictures from charity galas and yacht clubs. She was lovely, Linda had said with a wistful sigh. Such a shame it didn't work out. But you know how young love is. Except now I was reading the real story. Mark *, you didn't. Linda *, I also mentioned that Emma called me last month. Just to catch up, of course. She always did consider me a second mother *. Susan *, did she really call? Linda *, does it matter? Sarah's been acting paranoid ever since. She keeps asking Jake about his day at work, checking his phone when she thinks he's not looking. It's only a matter of time before her insecurity ruins everything. Asterisk. The kitchen felt like it was spinning. I gripped the counter, my knuckles white against the dark granite. 3 days. For 3 days I'd been spiraling about Emma Whitfield, wondering if Jake still thought about her, if he compared us, if he regretted choosing me over someone from his own world. It had all been lies. Calculated, deliberate lies designed to poison my marriage from the inside out. Sarah? Linda's voice was closer now, maybe in the hallway. Everything all right in there, sweetheart? I quickly scrolled to the most recent messages, my heart pounding so loud I was sure she could hear it from the next room. Linda, this morning, 7:22 a.m. Asterisk. Wish me luck, everyone. Spending the day with Sarah planning my party. Time to plant a few more seeds. Seedling. Asterisk. Joyce. Asterisk. You're terrible, but I love you. Linda. Asterisk. Someone has to save my son. Just putting the final touches on your cake. I called back, my voice somehow steady despite the hurricane raging inside my chest. I heard her footsteps retreat back toward the living room, heard her laughing at something Jake said about the crooked picture frame. My hands moved across the screen, screenshotting everything. The screenshots weren't enough. I needed everything. I scrolled back further, my fingers swiping frantically through months of messages while listening for Linda's footsteps. The deeper I went, the worse it got. Linda, 2 months ago, for 17 p.m. Asterisk. Sarah cornered me today asking for advice about fitting in with our crowd. I told her she should consider taking some etiquette classes. You should have seen her face, she actually thought I was being helpful. Asterisk. Patricia. Asterisk. Linda, you're going to hell. Linda. Asterisk. At least I'll have good company. Susan. Asterisk. What kind of etiquette classes? Linda. Asterisk. Asterisk. Oh, I made them up. Told her about some exclusive finishing school in the city that costs $3,000 for a weekend intensive. Said I'd look into getting her enrolled as an early Christmas gift. Asterisk. I remembered that conversation. I'd been so grateful, so touched that she wanted to invest in helping me become the daughter-in-law she deserved. I'd even started saving money from my nursing shifts, thinking I'd pay her back once she made the arrangements. She'd been playing with me like a cat with a mouse. Linda, 6 weeks ago, 9:33 p.m. Asterisk. Jake mentioned that Sarah's been working extra shifts to save money for something special. Poor boy has no idea she's planning to waste it on those fake classes I mentioned. The gift that keeps on giving. Face with tears of joy. Asterisk. Mark. Asterisk. This is getting mean, even for you. Linda. Asterisk. Asterisk. Mean? I'm saving my son from a lifetime of embarrassment. Do you know what Sarah's mother does for work? She cleans toilets. Mark. Toilets. And her father? When he's not drinking, he's laying concrete in people's driveways. Asterisk. Joyce. Asterisk. That's honest work, Linda. Linda. Asterisk. Asterisk. Honest, maybe. But it's not Thompson work. We have a reputation to maintain. Jake will be a partner at the firm within 5 years. Can you imagine Sarah at the company Christmas party? She'd probably show up in something from Target. Asterisk. My vision blurred. I'd bought my dress for last year's Christmas party at Target. Jake had said I looked beautiful, had bragged to his colleagues about his stunning wife. But I'd felt out of place the entire night, surrounded by women in designer gowns that cost more than my monthly rent. The phone buzzed in my hands with a new message. Joyce. Now. Asterisk. How's the cake making going? Getting any good intel? Asterisk. My blood froze. They were talking about me right now. While I stood in my own kitchen, making a cake for the woman who was systematically destroying my life. Linda. Now. Asterisk. Oh girls, you won't believe this. Sarah spent $127 on ingredients for my cake. I saw the receipt on her counter. She bought organic vanilla extract that costs $23 a bottle. For a cake. Jake's going to have a heart attack when he sees their credit card statement. Asterisk. I looked at the receipt still sitting by the flour canister, $127.43 at Williams-Sonoma, because I'd wanted everything to be perfect for her special day. The vanilla extract was imported from Madagascar. The butter was European. I'd driven to 3 different stores to find the exact type of lemons her recipe called for. Patricia. Asterisk. Asterisk. $127 for cake ingredients? That's insane. Asterisk. Linda. Asterisk. Asterisk. It gets better. She asked me 3 times if I was sure about the oven temperature. Apparently she doesn't trust her own abilities. Smart girl, she shouldn't. Asterisk. Susan. Asterisk. Are you going to tell Jake about the money? Linda. Asterisk. Asterisk. I won't have to. He checks their statements every Sunday. He'll see it and start asking questions about her spending habits. Another crack in the foundation. Asterisk. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. She'd watched me write down her recipe, had smiled encouragingly when I'd asked about the temperature. 350 degrees seemed high for such a delicate cake. She'd assured me it was correct, had even patted my shoulder and said she appreciated how careful I was being. Now I knew the truth. She was hoping I'd fail. Hoping the cake would burn or fall flat so she could comfort Jake about his wife's inadequacies while simultaneously planting seeds about my irresponsible spending. Sarah, sweetheart? Linda's voice was right outside the kitchen now. How much longer on that cake? I was hoping we could go over the party planning details. I quickly saved the screenshots to a hidden folder and placed her phone back exactly where she'd left it. Almost done. I called out, my voice cracking slightly. Party planning details. She wanted to plan her own birthday party, the party where she expected me to humiliate myself in front of 43 Thompson family members. The party she was counting on to be my final social execution. I stared at the golden cake in the oven, baking perfectly at 350 degrees despite her obvious hopes otherwise. 12 days until her birthday party. 12 days to decide if I was going to lie down and let Linda Thompson destroy me, or if I was going to fight back. The cake timer had 11 minutes left. I was done being Linda's victim. The cake came out perfectly golden, which somehow made everything worse. I set it on the cooling rack just as Linda swept into the kitchen, her smile as artificial as the sweetener she put in her coffee. Oh my goodness, Sarah. It smells absolutely divine in here. She clasped her hands together like she was genuinely delighted, and for a split second, I almost forgot what I'd just read. Almost forgot that 20 minutes ago she'd been hoping this cake would be a disaster. Thank you, I managed, untying my apron with hands that had finally stopped shaking. I followed your recipe exactly. I'm sure you did, sweetheart. You're always so thorough. The pause was barely perceptible, but now I heard it. Now I heard everything differently. Jake wandered in, wiping his hands on a dish towel. Smells incredible in here. Mom, you got to stop giving Sarah your secret recipes, she's going to put you out of business. Linda laughed, that tinkling sound I'd always found charming. Oh, Jake. Sarah could never replace me. She said it like a joke, but her eyes met mine over his shoulder. Could you, sweetheart? I wouldn't dream of trying, I replied, and meant it in ways she couldn't imagine. Now then, Linda settled herself at my kitchen island like she owned it, pulling out a leather-bound planner that probably cost more than my nursing shoes. Let's talk about the party. I have some thoughts about the menu. For the next hour, she systematically dismantled every idea I'd spent weeks developing. The appetizer spread I'd planned? Too ambitious for someone with your experience level. The dinner menu? Perhaps we should keep it simple, I'd hate for you to overwhelm yourself. The decorations? I brought some pictures of how we decorated for Jake's cousin's engagement party. Maybe we could aim for something along those lines, but more appropriate to your budget. Jake sat there nodding along, completely oblivious to his mother's surgical precision as she carved up my confidence. Every suggestion came wrapped in concern, every criticism cushioned with endearments. She was a master at this. Actually, I said, surprising myself with how calm I sounded, I was thinking we could make it a really special celebration. 43 family members, that's a lot of people who love you, Linda. Maybe we should do something that really showcases how much you mean to everyone. Her eyes sharpened slightly. What did you have in mind? Well, I was thinking we could set up a little slideshow. Photos, memories, maybe even some of those sweet text messages family members have sent about you over the years. You know, really highlight the relationships you built. Jake perked up. That's a great idea, babe. Mom, you'd love that, wouldn't you? All those family group chats you're always part of, I bet there are tons of sweet messages in there. Linda's smile faltered for just a moment. Oh, I don't know about that. Family group chats can be so private. Come on, Mom. You're always telling us how close our family is, how much everyone cares about each other. Sarah's right, your birthday would be perfect for celebrating those connections. Jake was warming to the idea, and I could see the panic flickering behind Linda's eyes. We could even do it as a surprise, I added helpfully. I could reach out to everyone individually, ask them to share their favorite Linda stories or messages. Really make it personal. That's very sweet, Sarah, but I think a slideshow might be too much work for you on top of everything else. Oh, it's no trouble at all. I want your birthday to be perfect. I met her gaze steadily. I want everyone to see exactly who you really are. The kitchen fell silent except for the tick of the grandfather clock Jake's parents had given us as a wedding gift. Linda's fingers drummed once against her planner, then stopped. We'll see, she said finally. We have plenty of time to figure out the details. 11 days, actually. But I didn't correct her. After Linda left, I sat alone in my kitchen staring at her perfect lemon cake. The Madagascar vanilla and European butter had done their job, it was bakery quality beautiful. But every bite would taste like lies now. Jake was in the shower, humming some song from our wedding playlist, completely unaware that his mother had just spent an hour systematically sabotaging his wife's self-confidence while eating cookies I baked from scratch. I pulled out my phone and opened the hidden folder containing the screenshots. 47 images. 2 months of conversations. I'd only read maybe a third of them before Linda had interrupted, which meant there was so much more poison waiting to be discovered. I scrolled to the earliest screenshot, dated 3 months ago, just 2 weeks after Jake and I had gotten back from our honeymoon in Greece. Linda, 3 months ago, 2:14 p.m. *. Well, they're back from Greece. Jake looks tan and happy. Sarah looks like she gained 10 pounds *. Joyce ***. Linda. Honeymoon weight is normal *. Linda *** normal, maybe. Attractive on my son's wife? Debatable. She was wearing this peasant dress thing, probably thought it looked European face with rolling eyes *. I remembered that dress. I'd bought it in a tiny boutique in Santorini, had felt so worldly and beautiful in it. Jake had taken dozens of pictures of me twirling on the hotel balcony, the blue Aegean stretching out behind me. He'd said I looked like a goddess. His mother had called it a peasant dress. Linda, 3 months ago, 6:47 p.m. *. Jake called to thank me for watering their plants while they were gone. He mentioned that Sarah wants to start hosting family dinners every Sunday. I told him what a wonderful idea that was *. Mark *, that actually sounds nice. Linda ***, oh, it is. For me. Do you know how much easier it'll be to document her failures when I have a front row seat every week? Plus, Jake will start noticing the little things, the way she holds her fork, how she pronounces bruschetta, the fact that she uses the wrong wine glasses *. My stomach clenched. Those Sunday dinners. I'd suggested them because I wanted to build traditions, wanted to become part of the Thompson family fabric. I'd stressed myself into exhaustion every weekend, planning menus, and setting the table with our wedding china, Googling proper pronunciation of Italian words because I'd grown up in a house where dinner came from a box. Linda had encouraged it all. Had praised my enthusiasm and offered helpful suggestions about silverware placement and wine pairings. I thought she was being supportive. She'd been gathering ammunition. Linda, 2 months, 3 weeks ago, 8:31 p.m. * Sunday dinner report, Sarah made chicken marsala. Pronunciation was painful but the food was actually decent. However, she served it with egg noodles instead of proper pasta. Jake didn't say anything but I saw him notice *. Patricia *, maybe she just didn't know? Linda ***, exactly my point. There are so many things she just doesn't know. And every time Jake has to silently correct her in his head, or pretend not to notice her mistakes, it chips away at his respect for her *. Susan *, that seems harsh. Linda ***, marriage isn't a charity project, Susan. Jake needs a partner who elevates him, not one he has to constantly manage and educate *. The shower shut off upstairs. I quickly scrolled to more recent messages, my heart hammering as Jake's footsteps moved around our bedroom. Linda, 1 week ago, 4:22 p.m. *. Interesting development. I ran into Emma Whitfield at the club today. Her divorce is final next month and she asked about Jake. I may have mentioned that he and Sarah have been having some adjustment issues, asterisk. Joyce asterisk Linda, you didn't. Linda asterisk I didn't lie. They have been having issues, Sarah's just too naive to realize it yet. All those questions about his work schedule, her paranoia about his phone. I simply confirmed that married life has been an adjustment for both of them, asterisk. Mark asterisk what did Emma say? Linda asterisk that she's glad Jake is happy, of course. But then she asked if we still do the annual Thompson ski trip to Vail. I told her we do, and that she should consider joining us this year. For old time's sake, asterisk. My blood turned to ice. The ski trip. Jake had mentioned it last week, his family's annual post-Christmas tradition. I'd been looking forward to it, had already started researching ski lessons because I'd never been on a mountain before. Now I knew Linda was planning to bring Emma. Beautiful, accomplished, old money Emma who probably learned to ski before she could walk. Linda, 1 week ago, for 35 p.m. asterisk the best part? Sarah will insist on learning to ski because she can't bear to be left out of anything. Can you imagine? Her first time on the slopes, surrounded by the entire family plus Emma? It'll be a disaster, asterisk. Patricia asterisk you're playing with fire. Linda asterisk I'm playing chess. And Sarah doesn't even know the game has started, asterisk. Babe? Jake's voice drifted downstairs. Everything okay? You've been really quiet since Mom left. I shoved my phone into my pocket and forced my voice to sound normal. Just cleaning up. Be right there. But I wasn't okay. I was drowning in the realization that every family gathering, every Sunday dinner, every attempt I'd made to become a Thompson had been orchestrated by Linda as opportunities for me to fail. She'd been documenting my mistakes, highlighting my shortcomings, and now she was actively bringing in my replacement. Emma Whitfield. The woman who knew which fork to use and how to pronounce Italian food and probably looked fantastic in ski gear. Jake appeared in the kitchen doorway, hair still damp, wearing the old college t-shirt I loved. The cake looks amazing. Mom seemed really happy. Did she? I asked, trying to keep the bitterness out of my voice. Yeah, she was practically glowing when she left. I think she's finally warming up to you, Sarah. It just took some time. I stared at my husband, this man I'd fallen in love with, married, built a life with, and realized that Linda was right about one thing. Jake really didn't know the game had started. But now I did. And I had 11 days to decide how it was going to end. I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Linda's satisfied smile as she demolished my party plans, heard her voice saying trailer trash in that casual, dismissive way. Jake slept peacefully beside me, one arm thrown across my waist, completely unaware that his mother was systematically destroying his marriage. At 3:17 a.m., I gave up on sleep and crept downstairs to my laptop. I needed to see the rest of those messages. Linda had left her phone unlocked when I'd handed it back to her, but she'd taken it home. However, I remembered something Jake had mentioned months ago about his family sharing an iCloud account for photos. His dad wasn't tech-savvy, so Jake had set up everyone's devices to sync automatically. It took me 20 minutes of digging through Jake's laptop to find the right account. Thompson, Family Point 2019, password Jake Patricia 1995, his and his sister's names plus their parents' wedding year. My hand shook as I logged into the family iCloud. If this worked, if Linda's phone was backing up to the shared account. There it was. Her message history, syncing in real time. I opened the Thompson family T-chat and scrolled back to where I'd left off. What I found made my earlier discoveries look tame. Linda, 5 days ago, 11:43 p.m. asterisk Jake's working late again tonight. Sarah texted me asking if this is normal for his department. Poor thing has no idea he's been stopping by Emma's apartment after work asterisk. My heart stopped beating. Just stopped. Joyce asterisk Linda, please tell me that's not true. Linda asterisk oh, it's innocent enough. Emma's been having trouble with her divorce settlement, something about property division. She reached out to Jake for legal advice since he works in family law adjacent stuff. But Sarah doesn't know that asterisk. Patricia asterisk, are you going to tell her? Linda asterisk why would I? Sarah's insecurity is doing all the heavy lifting for me. She's already checking his phone, asking questions about his schedule. If she keeps acting paranoid and clingy, Jake will start craving the easy companionship he used to have with Emma asterisk. Mark asterisk, this is getting too far, Mom. Linda asterisk Mark, sweetheart, I'm not making Jake visit Emma. I'm not forcing Sarah to act jealous and suspicious. I'm simply not correcting the natural course of events asterisk. I remember those late nights. Jake coming home at 9:30, 10 p.m., apologizing about case deadlines and client emergencies. I'd been understanding, supportive, even making him late dinners and asking how I could help him decompress. But I'd also noticed things. The way he'd shower immediately when he got home. How he'd started putting his phone face down during dinner. The slight guilt in his voice when he explained where he'd been. Linda was right. I had been growing suspicious. But not because I was paranoid, because my husband was lying to me. Linda, 4 days ago, 2:17 p.m. asterisk update, Jake told Sarah he has to work this Saturday. He's actually helping Emma move some furniture from her marital home. I offered to watch their hypothetical children if they had any, but alas, no babysitting needed faced with tears of joy asterisk. Susan asterisk, how do you know all this? Linda asterisk Emma called to thank me for Jake's help and to ask if she should mention to Sarah that she's been in touch with him. I told her absolutely not, that Sarah is going through a difficult adjustment period and might misunderstand their friendship asterisk. Joyce asterisk, so you're encouraging them to hide it from Sarah? Linda asterisk I'm protecting everyone involved. Sarah from unnecessary worry, Emma from Sarah's potential drama, and Jake from having to manage his wife's emotions about a perfectly innocent situation asterisk. This Saturday. 2 days ago. Jake had left at 8 a.m. with a travel mug of coffee and a kiss on my forehead, telling me he had to go into the office for a few hours to catch up on depositions. He'd come home at 4 p.m. with a story about grabbing lunch with his colleague Mike and running some errands. He'd helped his ex-girlfriend move furniture while his mother orchestrated the lie. Linda, 3 days ago, 7:45 a.m. asterisk Sarah made Jake breakfast before his workday yesterday. Scrambled eggs with fresh herbs, bacon, the works. She has no idea she was fueling him up to help another woman pack up her life. The irony is delicious asterisk. Patricia asterisk I'm starting to feel bad for Sarah. Linda asterisk asterisk don't. She's getting exactly what she signed up for when she decided to marry above her station. Jake needs someone who understands his world, his responsibilities, his social obligations. Someone who won't embarrass him at firm events or mispronounce menu items at client dinners asterisk. Mark asterisk asterisk Sarah's a nurse, mom. She saves lives. That counts for something asterisk. Linda asterisk asterisk of course it does. It counts for a solid middle-class existence with a nice man from her own background. But Jake isn't a nice middle-class man, Mark. He's a Thompson. And Thompsons marry other people who understand what that means asterisk. I sat back in my desk chair, staring at the screen through tears I hadn't realized were falling. The worst part wasn't just that Jake was lying to me, or that his mother was orchestrating it. The worst part was that some tiny, treacherous part of me wondered if Linda was right. Maybe I didn't belong in Jake's world. Maybe I was embarrassing him at work events. Maybe he did need someone who knew instinctively which fork to use and how to make small talk about summer homes and ski trips to Vail. But then I remember the Madagascar vanilla and the hand-stitched Christmas stockings and the 2 years I'd spent bending myself into impossible shapes trying to earn this woman's approval. I remembered Jake's face on our wedding day, the way he'd whispered, "I can't believe you're mine," during our first dance. That wasn't fake. Whatever else was happening, that had been real. My phone buzzed with a text from Jake, asterisk working late again tonight. Don't wait up. Love you, asterisk. It was 3:47 a.m. He was texting me about working late tonight while I sat in our dark kitchen reading about his lies from yesterday. I had 10 days until Linda's birthday party. 10 days to figure out whether I was going to expose the truth or let her win. 10 days to decide if my marriage was worth fighting for. I looked at the lemon cake still sitting on the counter, perfect and golden and built on completely false pretenses. Just like everything else in my life. I made a decision at 4:23 a.m. while staring at Linda's perfect lemon cake. I was going to read every single message in that group chat. All of it. If I was going down, I was going down with complete information. What I found in the older messages made me physically sick. Linda, 4 months ago, 1:33 p.m. asterisk Jake brought Sarah to the Hendersons' anniversary party last night. She spent 20 minutes talking to Margaret Henderson about her favorite reality shows. Margaret looked like she wanted to die asterisk. Joyce asterisk oh no. Linda asterisk asterisk it gets worse. When David Henderson mentioned their wine collection, Sarah asked if they had any good red wine. Not Bordeaux, not Cabernet Sauvignon. Good red wine. Like she was at a gas station asterisk. Patricia asterisk maybe she was just being modest? Linda asterisk asterisk trust me, it wasn't modesty. She also complimented Margaret's really fancy cheese plate. It was a $400 selection from Murray's. Sarah treated it like Velveeta and crackers asterisk. I remembered that party. I'd been so nervous, so desperate to make a good impression. The Hendersons were Jake's godparents, pillars of their social circle. I'd agonized over what to wear, what to say, how to act. And I thought I'd done okay. Jake had told me everyone loved me. But Linda had been watching. Taking notes. Cataloging every misstep for future ammunition. Linda, 4 months ago, 1:47 p.m. asterisk the worst part was watching Jake's face. He kept trying to redirect conversations when Sarah would say something particularly unfortunate. You could see him calculating how much damage control he'd have to do later asterisk. Mark asterisk are you sure you're not reading too much into this? Linda asterisk asterisk Mark, I've known my son for 29 years. I know what his emergency social management face looks like. Same expression he used to get when his college roommate would get drunk at family events asterisk. My stomach dropped. Jake's college roommate, Danny, who'd been disinvited from our wedding because he couldn't handle his alcohol at social functions. Linda was comparing me to Danny Kowalski. But there was more. So much more. Linda, 6 months ago, 3:22 p.m. asterisk Sarah called me crying today. Apparently some woman at the grocery store made a comment about Jake's previous girlfriend being so sophisticated. I may have been the one who arranged that encounter asterisk. Susan asterisk what do you mean arranged? Linda asterisk asterisk I may have mentioned to Diane Carlisle that Sarah shops at the Kroger on Elm Street every Thursday around 2 p.m. And I may have also mentioned that she probably doesn't know about Jake's history with Emma. Diane has such a big mouth asterisk. Patricia asterisk Linda, that's cruel. Linda asterisk asterisk that's strategic. Sarah needs to understand that people in this town remember Emma. They remember what Jake's life looked like before he married down asterisk. Diane Carlisle. The woman who'd approached me in the frozen food aisle, her smile sharp as broken glass. You must be Jake Thompson's new wife. So different from Emma Whitfield. She was just so elegant, you know? Such a shame about her marriage ending. I'd cried in my car for 20 minutes after that encounter, then called Linda for reassurance. She'd been so comforting, so supportive. Had listened to me sob about feeling inadequate and assured me that I was exactly what Jake needed. She'd orchestrated the entire thing. Linda, 6 months ago, 8:45 p.m. asterisk mission accomplished. Sarah's been quiet and clingy ever since her grocery store encounter. Jake texted me asking if I thought she seemed more emotional than usual lately. I told him that marriage adjustment can be difficult, especially for people who aren't used to elevated social expectations asterisk. Joyce asterisk you're going to destroy that girl. Linda asterisk asterisk I'm going to save my son from a lifetime of embarrassment and regret. There's a difference asterisk. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely scroll. 6 months. Linda had been actively sabotaging my mental health for 6 months, planting seeds of doubt and insecurity while positioning herself as my caring mother-in-law. And it was working. I had been more emotional, more clingy, more paranoid. Because Linda was systematically destroying my confidence while feeding me just enough comfort to keep me dependent on her approval. A new message appeared in real time, timestamped 4:51 a.m. Linda, now asterisk can't sleep. Keep thinking about Sarah's face when she was asking about the oven temperature today. She has no idea I've been setting her up to fail for months. Part of me almost feels guilty asterisk. Joyce, now asterisk Linda. It's 5 a.m. asterisk. Linda, now asterisk I know. But sometimes I wonder if I'm being too harsh. She tries so hard. That cake today was actually perfect, better than mine, if I'm being honest asterisk. My heart stopped. Linda was awake right now, having a crisis of conscience at 5 a.m. Patricia, now maybe that's a sign you should stop. Linda, now asterisk I can't stop. Not now. Jake's happiness is at stake. Do you know what Emma Whitfield texted me yesterday? She said helping Jake move her furniture reminded her of why they worked so well together. He anticipates my needs, she said. When's the last time Jake anticipated Sarah's needs? Asterisk. Joyce, now Linda. Linda, now asterisk Sarah makes him work so hard. He has to explain everything, social cues, family traditions, proper etiquette. With Emma, everything was effortless. Natural. Emma knew which wine to order, how to talk to his colleagues, when to laugh at his father's terrible golf stories, asterisk. I stared at the screen, watching my mother-in-law have a real-time breakdown about destroying my marriage. And the most terrifying part was that she was convincing herself it was an act of love. Linda, now asterisk the birthday party will be the final test. 43 family members watching Sarah try to hostess an event she's not equipped for. If she fails, when she fails, Jake will finally see what I've been seeing all along, asterisk. 9 days. I had 9 days to decide whether I was going to let Linda Thompson's final test destroy me, or whether I was going to turn her own game against her. The lemon cake sat on my counter, golden and perfect despite her hopes otherwise. Maybe it was time Linda learned that trailer trash could be underestimated at her own peril. At 5:30 a.m., I watched Linda's crisis of conscience evaporate in real time. Linda, now asterisk you know what? I'm overthinking this. Sarah had her chance to prove herself worthy of this family. She's had 2 years. If she was going to rise to the occasion, she would have by now, asterisk. Joyce, now Linda, get some sleep. Linda, now asterisk I'm wide awake now. Actually, I'm feeling energized. Sarah's party planning gave me an idea. What if I help things along a little more? Make sure the birthday party is truly memorable, asterisk. My blood chilled. I watched the typing indicator appear and disappear several times before her next message came through. Linda, now asterisk I'm going to call Emma today. Invite her to the party as my special guest. After all, she was practically part of the family for 3 years. It would be rude not to include her in such an important celebration, asterisk. Patricia, now that's playing with dynamite. Linda, now asterisk that's giving Jake a clear comparison. Sarah's struggling to hostess a party she's not qualified to throw, while Emma mingles effortlessly with people she's known for years. The contrast will be illuminating, asterisk. I gripped my coffee mug so hard I thought it might shatter. Emma Whitfield at Linda's birthday party. In my house. Watching me fail at hosting 43 Thompson family members while she charmed everyone with her old money grace and insider knowledge of family jokes. Linda, now asterisk plus, I can seat Emma at Jake's table. They'll naturally fall into conversation about old times, mutual friends, shared experiences that Sarah can't possibly contribute to, asterisk. Mark, now mom, this is wrong and you know it. Linda, now asterisk what's wrong is Jake sacrificing his future for misguided loyalty. Sometimes people need help seeing clearly, asterisk. Susan, now what if Sarah suspects something? Linda, now asterisk suspects what? That I invited a longtime family friend to my 60th birthday? Sarah's too insecure to say anything without looking petty. She'll just smile and suffer through it while everyone compares them, asterisk. The typing indicator appeared again. I held my breath. Linda, now asterisk actually, I have an even better idea. I'm going to ask Emma to give a toast. Something heartfelt about how much the Thompson family has meant to her over the years, how grateful she is for Jake's friendship during her difficult divorce. Really tug at everyone's heartstrings, asterisk. Joyce, now you're going to humiliate Sarah in her own home. Linda, now asterisk I'm going to give Jake clarity. And if Sarah gets humiliated in the process, well, maybe she should have thought about that before she decided to marry someone so far out of her league, asterisk. I sat in my dark kitchen, watching my mother-in-law plan my social execution with the same casual efficiency she used to organize charity luncheons. Every detail calculated for maximum damage. Emma at Jake's table. Emma giving a toast about their family bond. Emma being everything I could never be, right in front of everyone who mattered. My phone buzzed with a text from Jake, asterisk good morning, beautiful. Left early for a breakfast meeting. Love you, asterisk. A breakfast meeting at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday. Or was he meeting Emma again? How many lies had I swallowed while his mother documented my gullibility for her audience? I looked at Linda's perfect lemon cake and made a decision that surprised even me. I wasn't going to just read her messages anymore. I was going to start creating some of my own. If Linda Thompson wanted to play games at her birthday party, she was about to learn that trailer trash didn't mean stupid. And I had just enough time to plan something truly memorable. 8 days to turn Linda's final test into her worst nightmare. The game was on. I spent Tuesday morning doing something I'd never done in 2 years of marriage. I called in sick to work and drove to Emma Whitfield's neighborhood. I wasn't stalking her. I just needed to see what I was up against. Emma lived in Riverside Heights, where the houses had names instead of numbers and the driveways were longer than my street. Her apartment turned out to be the carriage house behind a mansion that probably cost more than Jake and I would make in our lifetimes combined. I parked across the street, hands gripping the steering wheel, and waited. At 9:47 a.m., Jake's Honda pulled into her driveway. My husband got out carrying 2 coffee cups and a white paper bag from Amelie's, the French bakery downtown that charged $8 for a croissant. The same bakery where I'd never been because Jake always said it was overpriced for what you get. Apparently it wasn't overpriced when you were buying breakfast for Emma Whitfield. I watched him knock on her door with the easy familiarity of someone who'd done this before. Many times before. When she answered, I got my first real look at the woman Linda kept comparing me to. She was nothing like her Facebook photos suggested. Smaller, more delicate, with honey blonde hair that moved like silk when she laughed at something Jake said. She was wearing yoga pants and an oversized sweater, no makeup, and she was absolutely luminous. Natural in a way I'd never be, no matter how much money I spent at Sephora. But what killed me was Jake's face when he looked at her. Relaxed. Unguarded. The same expression he used to have when he looked at me, before I'd started asking too many questions about his schedule. They disappeared inside at 9:52 a.m. Jake's breakfast meeting was apparently taking place in his ex-girlfriend's living room. I sat in my car for an hour and 37 minutes, watching their shadows move past the windows, and realized Linda was right about one thing: Jake did look happy. Happier than he'd looked at home in weeks. At 11:29 a.m., they came outside together. Emma had changed into jeans and a cable knit sweater that probably cost more than my nursing uniform. She looked like she belonged in a Ralph Lauren catalog. They were both laughing, Jake's hand resting casually on her lower back as he guided her toward his car. I followed them to Williams-Sonoma. I sat in the parking lot, watching through the store windows as Emma picked out serving pieces while Jake carried her basket. She'd touch his arm when she wanted his opinion, lean into him when examining price tags, smile up at him with the easy intimacy of someone who'd never had to Google proper wine glass types at 2 a.m. They were planning a dinner party. Emma's dinner party, using Jake's credit card to buy the kind of elegant serving pieces I'd fantasized about but never dared purchase. The same credit card Jake monitored so carefully when it came to my spending. At Williams-Sonoma, they spent $847.32. I knew because I asked the parking lot attendant if he'd seen my husband come out, and could he tell me approximately when because I was supposed to meet them. The chatty college kid mentioned that the couple had really gone all out and showed me their receipt that had blown under his booth. $847.32 on items like artisanal olive wood serving board, $127, and hand-blown glass decanter set, $203, and French copper serving bowls, $98 each. Jake had questioned me about spending $127 on ingredients for his mother's birthday cake. But he'd just dropped 8 times that amount on serving pieces for his ex-girlfriend without blinking. I drove home in a daze, Linda's voice echoing in my head, Sarah's insecurity is doing all the heavy lifting for me. She was right. I was doing all the work of destroying my own marriage, getting paranoid and clingy while Jake grew closer to a woman who understood his world in ways I never would. But when I walked into my kitchen and saw Linda's perfect lemon cake still sitting on the counter, something crystallized in my mind. I pulled out my phone and opened the Thompson family tea chat. Linda had been quiet since her 5 a.m. revelation, but I knew she was awake. Probably planning her call to Emma about the birthday party invitation. Time to give her something else to think about. I took a picture of the lemon cake and posted it to my Instagram story with the caption, made Linda's famous family recipe. Can't wait to share the secret ingredients at her birthday party next week. Hashtag family traditions, hashtag recipe reveals. Then I tagged every Thompson family member I could find on social media. Within 10 minutes, my phone was buzzing with notifications. Joyce had commented with 3 heart eye emojis. Patricia had shared it to her story. Mark had liked it immediately. And Linda had called me 4 times. 7 days until her birthday party. Time to see how she liked being the one who couldn't control the narrative. The 5th call from Linda came while I was still staring at my phone, watching the Instagram notifications multiply. Jake's cousin Rebecca had commented asking for the recipe. His Aunt Susan wanted to know if I'd be sharing all the family secrets at the party. Even his normally silent Uncle Mark had liked the post. I let it ring. The 6th call came 30 seconds later. This time I answered. Sarah, sweetheart. Linda's voice was strained, that artificial sweetness cranked up to 11. I saw your lovely Instagram post about the cake. So, creative of you to mention sharing recipes at the party. Oh, I hope that's okay, I said, injecting just enough uncertainty into my voice. I thought it might be fun to talk about family traditions. You know, share some of the stories behind your special recipes. A pause. I could practically hear her calculating. Well, the thing is, sweetheart, some family recipes are meant to stay within the family. Especially the really old ones with sentimental value. Of course. That's why I thought your birthday would be the perfect time. Everyone will be there, all 43 family members. We could make it a whole celebration of Thompson family heritage. Another pause, longer this time. Sarah, perhaps we should discuss this in person. Are you free this afternoon? I glanced at the clock. 12:47 p.m. Jake wouldn't be home from his client meetings until evening. Plenty of time for Linda to drive over and try to control whatever damage she thought I might cause. Actually, I'm having lunch with a friend today. But we could talk tomorrow? What friend? The question slipped out before she could stop herself, sharp and suspicious. Just someone from work. Emma Chen, she's a nurse in pediatrics. Actually, funny coincidence, she has the same first name as Jake's college girlfriend. Small world, right? The silence stretched so long I thought the call had dropped. Linda? Are you still there? Yes. Emma Chan, you said? We've been talking about party planning, actually. She threw the most elegant dinner party last month, said the key is in the details. Making sure everyone feels properly welcomed. I paused, letting that sink in. She's even offered to help with your party if I need it. She has such sophisticated taste. I could hear Linda breathing, could practically feel her mind racing. Was I talking about Emma Whitfield? Did I know something? Was this innocent coincidence or calculated message? That's very kind of her, Linda managed finally. But I'm sure you have everything under control. Oh, I hope so. I want everything to be perfect. Especially since you mentioned you might have some special guests coming. Jake said something about old family friends? Another sharp intake of breath. Jake mentioned that? Just in passing. He seemed excited about it. Said it would be nice to have everyone together, past and present. I twisted the knife just a little deeper. I told him I couldn't agree more. It'll be so interesting to meet the people who knew you all before I became part of the family. The typing indicator on the group chat had been active for the past 5 minutes. I could picture Linda frantically messaging the others, trying to figure out what I knew and how much damage I could cause. Sarah, sweetheart, I really think we need to talk. Today. It's important. Oh dear, I wish I could, but Emma's picking me up in 20 minutes. Rain check? Emma's picking you up? Yes, we're going to look at some venue spaces downtown. She's thinking of hosting a dinner party and wanted my opinion on locations. I paused, enjoying the sharp silence. She said something about wanting to reconnect with old friends. Apparently she's been out of the social scene for a while because of her divorce, but now she's ready to, what did she call it? Reclaim her place in the community. The sound Linda made was somewhere between a gasp and a whimper. I should go get ready. But Linda? Thank you so much for encouraging me to be more social. You were right, it's time I started building my own relationships in town. I hung up before she could respond and immediately opened the group chat. Linda was typing frantically. Linda, now asterisk emergency. I think Sarah knows something asterisk. 7 days until the party. And Linda Thompson was finally starting to realize she wasn't the only one who could play games. Within minutes of hanging up on Linda, the Thompson family tea chat exploded with activity. Linda, now asterisk Sarah just told me she's having lunch with someone named Emma. Claims it's a nurse from work, but the timing is too convenient asterisk. Joyce, now you don't think she knows about Emma Whitfield, do you? Linda, now asterisk she mentioned reconnecting with old friends and reclaiming her place in the community. Those aren't phrases Sarah would use naturally. Someone's been coaching her asterisk. Patricia, now asterisk maybe you're paranoid. Emma Chen is probably just a coworker asterisk. Linda, now asterisk then explained the Instagram post about sharing secret ingredients at my party. She's threatening to expose something, I can feel it asterisk. I screenshotted everything, my heart pounding with a mixture of terror and exhilaration. Linda was spiraling, seeing threats everywhere, finally getting a taste of the paranoia she'd been feeding me for months. My phone rang again. This time it was Jake. Hey babe, got your text about going out for lunch. Everything okay? You never take sick days. I'd forgotten texting him about calling in sick. Just needed a mental health day. Your mom came by yesterday to plan the party and I'm feeling overwhelmed. Mom can be a lot, he said, and something in his voice made me pause. Listen, I was thinking maybe we should talk about scaling back the party. 43 people is huge for our first time hosting. Are you embarrassed about me hosting it? What? No, of course not. I just don't want you to stress yourself out trying to impress everyone. A pause. You don't have anything to prove, Sarah. But I did. I had everything to prove, and we both knew it. Jake, can I ask you something? And will you be completely honest? Silence. Then, sure. Do you think I embarrass you sometimes? At family events or work functions? Sarah, where is this coming from? Just answer the question. Please. A longer pause. Too long. You don't embarrass me. You're still learning, that's all. Everyone adjusts at their own pace. Still learning, like I was a child who might eventually grow into proper Thompson family behavior if I tried hard enough. What about Emma Whitfield? The silence was deafening. I could hear traffic in the background, the turn signal clicking. Jake had pulled over. How do you know that name? She came up in conversation. I was wondering why you never mentioned dating someone for 3 years. It was a long time ago, Sarah. It didn't seem relevant. Relevant enough that you've been helping her move furniture. The sharp intake of breath told me everything. Who told you that? Does it matter? The question is why you lied about working late. I didn't lie. Emma's going through a rough divorce and needed help. It didn't seem worth mentioning because it's not important. Not important enough to tell your wife, but important enough to spend your Saturday doing. Sarah, you're reading too much into this. There it was again. The gentle condescension, the implication that my concerns were irrational. Exactly what Linda had been counting on. I have to go, I said. Emma's here. Wait, which Emma? I hung up and immediately called my coworker Emma Chen. Hey girl, want to grab lunch and help me ruin my mother-in-law's life? Emma Chen had been waiting 2 years for me to finally snap about Linda. Within an hour, we'd crafted a plan so beautifully simple it was almost elegant. So you're going to let her think you know about the affair that isn't technically an affair? Emma asked over sushi. I'm going to let her think whatever she wants to think. Just like she's been doing to me. 6 days until Linda's party. Time to see how she handled being the paranoid one for a change. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls from Linda and a text from Jake. Asterisk mom says you're planning something for her party. Can we talk? Asterisk. I was still in my bathrobe when Linda's car pulled into our driveway at 7:43 a.m. Through the kitchen window, I watched her march up our front steps with the determination of a general heading into battle. She didn't knock, just used the spare key Jake had given her for emergencies. Sarah? We need to talk. Now. I found her pacing in my living room, still in her designer workout clothes from what was clearly a sleepless night. Her usually perfect hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail, and there were dark circles under her eyes that no amount of concealer could hide. Good morning, Linda. Coffee? Don't you good morning me. I know what you're doing. I tilted my head, channeling the same innocent confusion she'd perfected over the past 2 years. I'm sorry, I don't understand. What am I doing? The Instagram post. The mysterious lunch with Emma. The threads about sharing family recipes. She stopped pacing and faced me directly. You found something, didn't you? Found what? Don't play games with me, Sarah. I've been playing them longer than you've been alive. I almost smiled at that. Linda was 60 years old, not 90. But I could see the panic behind her bravado, the way her hands trembled slightly as she clutched her purse. I honestly don't know what you're talking about. I made your cake, posted about it on Instagram, and had lunch with my coworker. If that's somehow threatening to you, maybe you should ask yourself why. Her eyes narrowed. Your coworker Emma Chen. Tell me about her. What would you like to know? She's 32, works in pediatrics, has excellent taste in restaurants. We become close friends recently. I paused, enjoying the flash of fear across Linda's face. She's been giving me advice about social situations, actually. How to handle difficult family dynamics. What kind of advice? Oh, you know. How to read between the lines when people aren't being direct. How to tell when someone's saying one thing but meaning another. I met her gaze steadily. She's very insightful about passive-aggressive behavior. Linda's phone buzzed in her purse. Then again. The Thompson family tea chat was probably lighting up with theories about what I might know and how much damage I could cause at the party. Sarah, I think there's been some kind of misunderstanding between us. Has there? I know I can be protective of Jake sometimes. Maybe overly so. But everything I've done has been because I love him. I'm sure it has. I moved to the kitchen island, where her perfect lemon cake still sat under its glass dome. Just like everything I'm doing is because I love him too. She followed me, her heels clicking sharply on the hardwood. What exactly are you planning for Saturday? A birthday party. 43 family members, just like you wanted. I've been working so hard to make sure everyone has a wonderful time. I lifted the glass dome and cut a small slice of her cake. Would you like to try this? It turned out perfectly, despite your recipe having some interesting measurements. The color drained from her face. What do you mean? Oh, nothing major. Just little inconsistencies I noticed when I compared it to the version online. I took a bite, savoring both the lemon and her obvious terror. Funny thing about family recipes, sometimes they get passed down with mistakes. Or sometimes people change them on purpose. Linda gripped the edge of the counter. Sarah, if you're trying to imply. I'm not implying anything. I'm just excited to celebrate you properly on Saturday. Emma's been helping me plan some special surprises. Which Emma? I smiled, channeling every ounce of Linda's own saccharine sweetness. Does it matter? They're both lovely women who want what's best for the people they care about. 5 days until the party. And Linda Thompson was finally learning what it felt like to be afraid. Linda left my house looking like she'd aged 5 years in 20 minutes. I watched through the window as she sat in her car for a full 10 minutes, phone pressed to her ear, probably calling an emergency session of the Thompson family tea chat. I was right. Within moments of her departure, the messages started flowing. Linda, now asterisk she knows something. I don't know what or how much, but Sarah is not the same person who made my cake yesterday asterisk. Joyce, now what exactly did she say? Linda, now asterisk she mentioned interesting measurements in my recipe and compared it to the version online. She knows I sabotaged her cake ingredients asterisk. Patricia, now maybe she just looked up the recipe afterward? Linda, now asterisk this goes deeper. She kept mentioning Emma, both Emmas. She's connected the dots somehow asterisk. I screenshotted everything, then did something that surprised even me. I opened my laptop and created a new document titled Linda's Birthday Toast Draft. If she wanted to bring Emma Whitfield to give a speech about the Thompson family, I was going to give a toast of my own. At 2 p.m., Jake came home early from work. I found him in the kitchen, staring at Linda's lemon cake like it might explode. We need to talk, he said without preamble. About what? About whatever's going on between you and my mother. She called me in tears, Sarah. Actual tears. She thinks you're planning to humiliate her at her birthday party. I set down my coffee mug carefully. And what do you think? I think my wife has been acting strange for 3 days, and now my mother is having panic attacks. I think someone needs to tell me what the hell is happening. This was it. The moment where I could tell Jake everything, show him the screenshots, explain about the group chat, reveal his mother's systematic campaign to destroy our marriage. Let him see exactly who Linda Thompson really was behind her loving mother facade. But looking at his face, I realized something that made my stomach drop. Jake looked annoyed with me, not concerned. He'd come home to manage his hysterical mother's feelings about his unreasonable wife. Your mother thinks I'm going to humiliate her? She thinks she discovered something that you plan to use against her. Have you? The question hung in the air between us like a blade. Jake wasn't asking if his mother had done something wrong. He was asking if I was planning to cause trouble. What if I had discovered something, Jake? What if I found out that your mother had been? I don't know, talking about me behind my back? What would you want me to do? He ran his hands through his hair, the same gesture he made when his work cases got complicated. I'd want you to talk to me about it. Not plan some public confrontation at a family gathering. Even if talking to you meant admitting I'd snooped through personal messages? His eyes sharpened. Did you snoop through personal messages? I thought about the group chat, about months of trailer trash and embarrassing and careful documentation of my every social failure. About Emma Whitfield and furniture moving and $847 at Williams-Sonoma while he questioned my grocery receipts. What if I told you that your mother gave me the wrong measurements for her cake recipe? On purpose? Jake blinked. What? What if I told you she's been hoping I'd fail at hosting this party? That she's invited your ex-girlfriend to come watch me fall apart in front of your entire family? Sarah, that sounds paranoid? Crazy? Like something an insecure wife would imagine? I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. You want to know what I discovered, Jake? I've discovered that every time I have concerns about your family, about our marriage, about anything, I'm told I'm being too sensitive or reading too much into things. Because sometimes you are. The words hit like a slap. There it was, the truth Jake had been too kind to say for months. His trailer trash wife was too paranoid, too insecure, too socially inept to read situations correctly. You're right, I said quietly. I probably am reading too much into things. I probably am being paranoid. Relief flooded his face. Sarah, I didn't mean. No, you're absolutely right. So let's test it. Saturday night, at your mother's party, we'll see exactly how paranoid I've been. 4 days until Linda's birthday party. And I'd just realized that even if I exposed everything, Jake might not believe me. But 43 Thompson family members would certainly have opinions about what they saw. The night before Linda's party, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Jake's face when he'd called me paranoid. The disappointment. The gentle condescension. The way he'd looked at me like I was a problem to be managed rather than a wife to be believed. At 2:33 a.m., I gave up and went downstairs to check the group chat one final time. What I found made my blood freeze. Linda, 1 hour ago, 1:47 a.m. asterisk final update before tomorrow. Emma Whitfield confirmed she'll be there. I've arranged for her to sit at Jake's table, and she's prepared to give a toast about cherished family memories. Asterisk. Joyce asterisk Linda, I'm begging you to reconsider this. Linda asterisk it's too late for second thoughts. Sarah forced my hand with her threats and manipulations. If she wants to play games at my birthday party, she's about to learn the rules. Patricia what if Jake gets angry? Linda Jake will thank me eventually. When he sees Sarah's true colors come out under pressure, when he watches Emma handle herself with grace while Sarah falls apart, he'll understand what he's been missing. Susan this feels wrong. Linda what's wrong is my son wasting his prime years on someone who will never be worthy of the Thompson name. Emma understands our world, our values, our expectations. She doesn't need to be taught which fork to use or how to pronounce bruschetta. My hands shook as I screenshotted the messages. Even now, hours before the party, Linda was still cataloging my failures. Still comparing me to perfect Emma Whitfield who knew instinctively how to be everything I wasn't. But there was more. Linda, 45 minutes ago, 2:05 a.m. I've also arranged a little surprise for Sarah. Margaret Henderson asked if she could bring her friend Caroline Whitmore, Emma's mother. Apparently Caroline is so excited to see how Jake's new wife handles entertaining. Mark Mom, that's cruel. Linda that's justice. Sarah thinks she can threaten me with mysterious evidence and force me to cancel my plans? She's about to discover that I don't respond well to blackmail. Emma's mother was coming. Caroline Whitmore, whose presence would signal to everyone that this wasn't just about Linda's birthday. This was about reminding Jake and the entire Thompson family of what his life had looked like before he'd married down. I thought about calling Jake, waking him up, showing him these messages. But I could already hear his response. Sarah, you're reading too much into this. Mom's just excited about her party. The paranoid wife strikes again. Instead, I opened my laptop and made some final adjustments to my own surprise for Linda's party. If she wanted to surround me with reminders of my inadequacies, I'd give her something to remember too. At 3:17 a.m., a new message appeared. Linda, now can't sleep. Keep thinking about Sarah's face when she realizes what tomorrow will bring. Part of me wonders if I've gone too far. Joyce, now you could still call Emma, tell her not to come. Linda, now no. Sarah made her choice when she decided to threaten me. She wants to share family secrets at my party? Fine. Let's see how she handles having her own secrets exposed. My heart stopped. What secrets? What did Linda think she knew about me? Patricia, now what secrets? Linda, now did you know Sarah's father was arrested for drunk driving 3 times? Or that her mother was fired from 2 cleaning jobs for theft? Emma did some research after I mentioned Sarah's background. Susan, now Linda, that's her family, not her. Linda, now it's her breeding, Susan. And if Sarah wants to air family business at my party, she should be prepared for others to share some family history too. I stared at the screen, my vision blurring. My father's DUIs from 15 years ago, when he was struggling with depression after his construction accident. My mother's misunderstanding with the Prestons over their missing jewelry, charges that were dropped when Mrs. Preston found her necklace in her jewelry box drawer. Linda had weaponized my family's lowest moments. At 3:33 a.m., I made my final decision about Linda Thompson's birthday party. If she wanted to destroy me in front of 43 family members, I was going to make sure the destruction was mutual. 22 hours until showtime. The Thompson family started arriving at 6 p.m. sharp, just as Linda had trained them. I watched from my kitchen window as car after car pulled into our driveway, 43 people dressed in their Saturday best, carrying wrapped gifts and expectant smiles. Linda arrived at 6:15 in a midnight blue cocktail dress that probably cost more than my car payment, her silver hair perfectly coiffed, looking every inch the Thompson family matriarch. She kissed Jake hello and complimented our decorations with that practiced smile I knew so well. Sarah, sweetheart, everything looks lovely, she said, her eyes scanning for flaws. Though I noticed you went with the blue tablecloths instead of the ivory ones we discussed? Actually, I thought the blue brought out your dress beautifully, I replied, matching her sweet tone. Almost like I planned it that way. At 6:47 p.m., Emma Whitfield walked through my front door. She was even more beautiful in person than she'd been through the Williams-Sonoma window. Her blonde hair was swept into an effortless updo, her emerald green dress fit like it had been made specifically for her body, and when Jake hugged her hello, his smile was genuine in a way I hadn't seen in months. Emma, you look incredible, he said, and I watched Linda's satisfaction bloom across her face. Sarah. Emma turned to me with perfectly practiced warmth. Linda has told me so much about you. Thank you for including me tonight. Of course, I managed. Any friend of the family is always welcome. For the next hour, I played the perfect hostess while watching Emma effortlessly charm every Thompson family member she encountered. She knew all their inside jokes, remembered their children's names, asked about Uncle Mark's golf game and Aunt Patricia's garden renovation. She belonged in a way I never would. Linda glowed, accepting compliments on the beautiful party while Emma's mother Caroline held court by the fireplace, regaling anyone who'd listen with stories about Emma's charitable work and her unfortunate marriage to that dreadful Hartwell boy. At 8 p.m., Linda called for attention to make her birthday toast. Before we sing happy birthday, she announced, champagne flute raised, I want to thank my wonderful daughter-in-law Sarah for opening her home to us tonight. And I'd like to invite my dear Emma to say a few words about what this family has meant to her over the years. Emma stood gracefully, her champagne catching the light. I've known the Thompsons for over a decade, she began, her voice carrying easily across the crowded room. They welcomed me like a daughter, taught me the meaning of family, and showed me what it looks like when people truly care for each other. I watched Jake's face as she spoke, saw the nostalgia and warmth in his eyes. Saw him remembering what his life had been like before he'd married someone who needed wine glass tutorials and pronunciation guides. Emma finished to enthusiastic applause, and Linda beamed like she'd just won the lottery. Thank you, Emma. That was beautiful. Linda turned to address the room again. Now, I believe Sarah has prepared something special to share as well. All 43 pairs of eyes turned to me. This was the moment Linda had orchestrated, where I would either crumble under pressure or make some desperate, embarrassing attempt to compete with Emma's polished perfection. I stood up, my phone in my hand, and smiled. Actually, I do have something to share. Linda, you've taught me so much about family over the past 2 years. About loyalty, about honesty, about how people who truly love each other should treat one another. I opened my screenshots folder. I thought everyone would enjoy hearing some of the sweet things you've said about me in your family group chat. Starting with my personal favorite, can you imagine that trailer trash raising Thompson children? The room went dead silent. Linda's champagne glass slipped from her fingers and shattered on my hardwood floor. From Thompson Family Tea, sent 3 months ago at 8:23 p.m., I continued, my voice steady despite my hammering heart. But there's so much more. I practiced this moment for days, and now it was finally here. Linda Thompson's perfect party, and her perfectly planned destruction of my marriage, was about to become something else entirely. The reckoning she'd earned over 2 years of systematic cruelty. Sarah, Jake said quietly, his face white. What are you doing? I looked at my husband, then at Emma Whitfield, then at the 43 Thompson family members staring at me in shocked silence. I'm sharing family secrets, I said simply. Just like Linda suggested.